All right, welcome in Bronco Nation. I'm excited to be here. This is the first of hopefully many player interviews for Blue Turf Talk with me, Chris Van Sickle. Thank you for coming on. This is going to be a very regular thing. A big part of our content is just going to be trying to get you, the fan, to get to know these players a little bit more. Share some stories and get to know them off the field a little bit. So I'm excited to be here today. I hope you subscribe to the YouTube channel. I hope you go back and watch. We had the first episode of Blue Turf Talk with Chris V last night. It was a lot of fun. We're still working out some kinks. It's a learning process. So bear with us. But it was a lot of fun. I hope you go check it out. But today I am super excited. I do a lot of interviews with recruits that are coming in. I don't get a lot of opportunity to talk to players that have already been on the team, much less quarterbacks. I mean, that's really fun. It's like super exciting access. And I'm excited to bring him on today. He two-time Mountain West champion. Without further ado, let's bring on Colt Fulton. How you doing, Colt?
I'm doing well. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Oh, absolutely. So you are just 2 months away, or 2 months ago, you were winning the Mountain West Championship, and just 2 days later, finding out your fate in the first ever 12-team college football playoff. What was that whirlwind like for you? Can you describe that to us?
Yeah, that was pretty surreal. I think for the entire team, not just me. Playing UNLV in the Mountain West Championship, finishing it, getting it done, going back to back, and then having all the fans storm the field, the goalposts to go down. It was surreal, something I'll never forget. I know the team will never forget. And then, the next morning we have the college football playoff announcement and where we are in the field, who we're playing. It was exciting and, super grateful for it all. So, yeah.
And those goalposts, they took a minute to come down. Did you stay on the field and watch that at all?
I did. I was one of the main football players, really pushing for the students and the fans to really get it down. I have some videos on my phone of me yelling at some people to like keep going. But I actually went to the locker room after, and someone came in and told me that they finally got it down and they took it to the river. So after that, after all the fans left, me and a couple of my buddies went and took a photo on the goalpost. So it was pretty cool.
And like you said, just a day later or 2 days later, you're sitting in that team room and you're waiting to find out. You could have gone anywhere from a 12 seed to where you were a 3 seed. When you walked into that room that morning, what was your expectation?
I mean, there was really no expectation. We all were pretty excited to play whoever it was. We thought we earned the 3 seed or 4 seed. We thought we earned the bye with our work, what we did throughout the whole season, being consistent. So it was really just up to the committee to make their choice, and obviously they believed in us, and they thought we were deserving enough of a 3 seed. So we did what we had to do throughout the entire season. It wasn't always pretty, it wasn't always the best, but we did what we had to do, and we got it done. So.
And you find out that's either going to be SMU or Penn State, and that's really not something that any teams had to prepare for. Did you really truly have two separate game plans, or did you kind of have an idea, what you were going to do, or talk to us about that process? Because I mean, like I said, it's really never happened before where you don't really know who you're facing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, so we had obviously an extra week compared to the other teams we were playing early. So we had some Penn State. We had a couple Penn State practices, and we also had a couple SMU practices just in case whoever won. We had at least an idea, base structure-wise, what they do, defense, offense, special teams. So we at least have an idea going into our prep, whoever won that game, what we're going against, who some of their players are, the best guys, what they do from scheme-wise. So, we had a couple practices for both teams, and then the Saturday came, we're just watching, seeing who won, and then as soon as Penn State won, we're like, all right, it's all hands on deck on Penn State. So.
Looking back at this season, and what an amazing season it was, should have been a Heisman Trophy winner, and going to play the Fiesta Bowl, and just Mad Dog really stepping onto the scene, and I think implanting himself as the starter of the future. Where do you think, as a team overall, you guys grew the most?
I think just confidence-wise, I think our team the past 2 years have been like some of the closest I've ever been around as a team from a team perspective. Every single guy was 100% all fully committed to the team. I think we're a little bit young my junior year, 2 years ago, 3 years ago. So some of those guys that got some more experience really stepped up in a big way. And it just came with confidence. The more games we played throughout the season, the more confident we were in each other and the coaches. And what it comes down to is just trust. Trusting that the player next to you is going to do his job. The coaches are going to make the correct plays, put you in the right spot, and then all it comes down is just making your plays. So I think it was just confidence-wise and building that trust.
And I want to take a step back even further, and the entire Andy Avalos thing, and Spencer Danielson coming in as the interim head coach, and another scene inside that team room was Jeremiah Dickey coming in and addressing you guys and announcing who was going to be head coach, and obviously we all know it ended up being Spencer Danielson. What did you think was going to happen when you guys were told to come to the team room? And did you think it was going to be Spencer Danielson? Was there any kind of indication beforehand?
I don't think anyone that was in the facility every day, like guys on the team, staff wise, I think no one had any doubts that it was going to be Coach D. Coach D is perfect for the job, as you guys know now. We knew it right away as soon as he took over. Helped us win that Mountain West championship. So, it was something that was really excited. We were all really excited for, happy for his family. But we also knew he was the best man for the job. And obviously you guys all saw that this year. So
we did. And it was something to behold, watching him to go from a defensive coordinator and really grow into a head coach. How do you think he transitioned so smoothly? Was it just something that he's just going to be a natural fit, or is that something that he, did his mentors help him? How do you think he did so well moving into the head coaching position?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit of everything. He's super authentic. He is who he is. Some people think he's not. Some people think he has a front on, but no, it's who he is 24/7. He had a lot of help. He had Coach Cutter in his hip pocket the whole year. Coach Peterson obviously helped a little bit, so he had good mentors. And then he's just a one hell of a coach. Like he really knows ball. He loves ball. So that's what it comes down to. He's a really good coach. He had good help, and then the players bought in. Everyone believed in what he was telling, what he was coaching. That's what really matters. As long as the players are bought in, then you should have a pretty good team. So.
And I want to ask you another question about a different coach. I don't want you to think that I'm not going to be asking questions about you. Those are coming up, and you've got some exciting stuff going on that we want to give you a second to promo. But Dirk Cutter, probably the most experienced offensive coordinator in the nation, former NFL head coach. What was it like learning from Dirk Cutter?
Yeah, I mean, I've learned because Cutter was also came back 2 years ago for a little bit, about midway through the season. So, Cutter's super experienced. Obviously, he's the knowledge that he has is something that you have to cherish. You have to take in. You got to soak in. So I learned. Everyone in the quarterback room learned so much from him. Also the coaches. His level of preparation that he does every single day. He's in there and at the facility at 4 a.m., 5 a.m., super early, stays late. And he's just really organized. And I think all the coaches, all the players, took after that for sure, and how he prepped and he helped, give give us a little bit of organization and some structure on how to prep every single week, because how experienced he was. He's been through everything: the NFL, college, high school. He's been everywhere. So just being able to really soak in what he says to you, write down notes, and just learn from him every single day was invaluable. And I mean, can't say a lot more about him. Like, he's a great guy. So.
And I went to press conferences, and Cutter he made it clear that half hour or so that he had the media had access to him was probably not his favorite time of the week. What was Dirk Cutter like behind the scenes? Was he a little bit more thorny, kind of grumpy old manish, or was there a side to him that we didn't get to see?
Yeah, I think when it came to practice, he was pretty locked in. He knew what we had to get done, and if we didn't get that done, then he'd be upset. But what you guys don't see behind the scenes in the meeting room, at dinners, just around the facilities, he's a great guy. Makes a lot of jokes. He's always smiling. He always wants the best for everyone around him. Another thing is, like, he's always bringing everyone around him to what he wants and what his level is. So he's a great guy. I can't say much more about him. He's a great guy. So.
And what was that quarterback room like? It was a very interesting dynamic. You've got Mad Dog, who has experience starting, and then you have Malachi Nelson, the 5-star quarterback, come in, and then a group of other experienced quarterbacks. You have several years experience. You've seen the field a little bit. What was that like, meshing together as a group?
Yeah, I think when I first stepped here on campus, it was pretty obvious that everyone in the quarterback room were great people, but also great friends, and they hung out outside of football. It wasn't just like, look, we know, like, we're trying to compete, we're trying to be the starter, but at the end of the day, we all want what's best for us and the team. And I think I've learned that from guys like Jack Sears, Hank Bachmeyer. Me and Taylor Green, as we were coming up my freshman year, we really learned that. And so when you learn that from the older guys, you're like, okay, that's what the standard is. That's what we're supposed to do when younger guys come in. So when guys because I was the vet in the room last year, so I was the oldest one. So, Mad Dog will tell you too, like, we're all best friends. Like, we all talk every single day. We all go do stuff outside. But when it comes to football field, obviously we want to play. Everyone wants to play. Everyone wants to do well. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there was no animosity towards anyone. Malachi was great all year. Everyone was trying to get every single person better, every single practice. So it didn't really matter. Like, a lot of people thought maybe there's a little bit of animosity between, Malachi and Mad Dog, but there wasn't. They're great friends. We hung out all the time. Like I said, we go to dinner together. We go shoot guns together. It didn't really matter what it was, but, we were all very good, very close. So.
And talk about Mad Dog, Maddox Madsen. Definitely the fan base. It took a minute for the fan base to embrace him, and that's fair. But I think he's really taken on the position and taken it up for his own going into next season. Where do you think the ceiling is for Mad Dog, and what can he improve on going into next season?
Yeah, I mean, there's really no ceiling for Mad Dog. You guys saw the more comfortable he was throughout the year, the better he was. And, there was a lot of criticism of him, which, I never really understood, but none of the guys on the team understood it, but it is what it is. And the thing for Mad Dog is just not listening to that stuff. I think it's hard sometimes when you go on Twitter, you go on Instagram, and you see a lot of negative comments about you, which people don't really know or understand how the game of football works. But all that matters is your support circle, the people around you that care about you. They know that he did a hell of a job this year and last year as well, when he had to. And, I think this upcoming season is just becoming more of a leader. He does a great job already. But, with Ashton gone, he's really going to have to step up even more than he did last year. And I think he will. He's going to do a hell of a job, and I'm excited to see him next year. So.
And, Dirk Cutter moves back to his senior analyst role so he can play a little more golf and relax a little bit more. And Coach Potter comes in. You mentioned that other coaches had learned a lot from Dirk Cutter as well. It seemed from the outside viewer that maybe Coach Potter was kind of being groomed as the next offensive coordinator. Do you think that was the plan all along, or did Coach Potter surprise you as being announced as the offensive coordinator? Talk to me about that process.
Yeah, I don't think it surprised me at all, but I think we have a hell of a coaching staff, and whoever was the offense coordinator, whoever had been picked, I know they're going to do a good job. Potter's extremely hardworking, just like everyone else is in the office. He's extremely smart. I'm excited to see what he does because he knows ball. So he works really hard. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I think the coaching staff had an idea of who was going to be the offensive coordinator, but I had no idea until about a week before it was announced. So, but I'm really excited for Potter and his family, and also Coach Miller being co-OC. I think Coach Miller's an outstanding coach as well, and I think those two together, Coach Jamont, the rest of the coaching staff, and then Coach Cutter also helping out as a senior analyst, they're going to do a hell of a job. So you guys should be excited for the offense next year.
And obviously Ashton Jeanty is off the NFL, and what do you think this offense is going to look like? Is it going to be fairly similar to this last season, or is Mad Dog going to take on a larger role with the passing game? Obviously, I know you're not in that coaching room right now, but give us your best guess.
Yeah, I mean, I think what Boise's been built on is running the ball first. So I don't think anyone should be surprised when we want to be a run first team. That's what it is. That's what all of our play actions come off, our passes come off of. It's the run. So if you can't run the ball, you're probably not gonna be able to throw the ball as well. If you can run the ball, you'll be able to throw the ball. Everything opens up. We got really good, talented backs coming in. You got Sire, you got Breezy, you got Dylan Riley, you got transfer Malik Sherrod. So the running back room's loaded, and you're gonna have to give your best players the ball. And when you can lean on that O-line, the veteran O-line that we have, I know we lost a couple guys, but there's some new guys, some young guys coming in that are going to be really, really, really good for us. You got the running back room. You got tight ends like Matt Lauder, who's going to be really good as well. You got to be able to run the ball. And I think Coach Parker and Coach Miller are going to do a really good job in the pass game. I think there's going to be a little bit more creativity, but we'll see. But yeah, I do think Matt Dog's going to have to take on a little bit of a larger role. It is what it is when you have someone like Ashton, who's a generational player, one of the best college football players of all time. Yeah, you can sit back sometimes and just hand the ball off, and he'll go take it for 60 yards and break 10 tackles in one play. But with some of these young running backs that we have, they're going to be able to do that as well, but maybe not as consistent of a level that Ashton was doing it last year. But they'll still be able to do some things that Ashton was able to do. So, but yeah, I think Matt will have to take on a bigger role. But I still think they're going to be run first, and that's what it is, and that's what we're built on. So,
and I want to talk about your career and help fans get to know you a bit better. And I appreciate you sharing some of that insight. That's a super fun part for fans to hear about. But your senior season in high school, it was cut short due to COVID. Is that correct?
It was, yes.
And do you think I know it affected recruiting nationwide. Do you think it affected your recruiting?
Yeah, it did. We only got to play 5 games in April, and most kids were already signed in my class. So I had offers, some FCS offers going into my senior year. I decided not to take them, and I waited too long, so those offers went. And then, Boise came pretty late for me, and I know what the tradition is and the family what it's like to be at Boise State. So I was like, I can't pass up the opportunity. So, I pulled the trigger on Boise. I came in late, but it was the best decision I've made in my entire life. So.
And a lefty coming onto the blue. And feel any extra pressure there?
Nah, there's no pressure. I mean, when you have someone like Kellen Moore, it's gonna be hard to live up to what he did. So there's really no reason to put extra pressure on yourself to be like you. You just got to be yourself, and that's what I did. So.
And I have a clip. This is one of my favorite plays that you had against Wyoming. It's going to be a fake field goal, and I want to watch it, and then I want you to kind of talk to us about what came into this play here. So obviously you're rolling out, throw it to Matt Louder.
Yeah.
You're gonna come over here and celebrate with Matt. What did you think that play was going to get called going into the week? Was that already in the game plan? Talk us about that.
Yeah, we that whole year, Coach Demo did a really good job with what we call like the swinging gate packages and stuff. And so we were practicing that for a couple of weeks. Actually, we were supposed to call it, I think, the game before, and I can't remember who it was against. So then Demo's like, all right, we're running it against Wyoming no matter what. We're running it. As long as Coach Avalos gives us the call, I was like, okay, perfect. So, it's just something you practice, and, it happens, But it was funny because, me and Matt Lauder are pretty close friends. Like, we hang out every single day. So doing that with him snapping me the ball, him rolling out, and then me throwing it to him was pretty funny, looking back at it. But, yeah, it was a super cool experience, something I'll never forget.
When you were about to take that snap and you're scanning the field, did you feel pretty confident that play was going to work?
I mean, I was confident that we'd execute. You never really know what the defense is going to do. I knew everyone around me was going to do their job, so it really just came down to me making a good throw. But yeah, it was just a funny moment to look back at it, and yeah.
And other than that moment, what, not even just during games, off the field, in the locker room, reminisce about some of your favorite moments as a Bronco.
Yeah, I think my favorite moments when it comes to a season, I think last season, 2023 season, when when Coach D came on, we won that Mountain West Championship after having less than a 1% chance. That's something that you could never take away from us. And the seniors that year really earned it, and they deserved it. What they did, setting the foundation for us young guys, something I'll never forget. And the people were some of my best friends. So being able to do that and win that Mountain West Championship was probably one of my favorite moments from season-wise. But something I'll always cherish and I'll always miss is just being around the locker room after workouts. Those long hours, a fall camp, spring ball, winter workouts, whatever it is, just being in that locker room after workouts and being with your best friends that you're going to be talking to for the rest of your life and be in their weddings, stuff like that. I already missed it already. But I have a couple of roommates that are on the team, so they keep me kind of in the loop on what's going on and stuff. So yeah, but I think just being around the locker room, being around those guys that are like my best friends and I talk to every day, it does suck a little bit missing. I missed that a little bit, but there's so many great experiences and so many memories that I have, some that I can't share. But it's something, I'm just so grateful I came here and made the decision to come here, and the people that, make this place, the community, the fans, that's what makes Boise, Boise. So.
And let's talk about what you're doing these days. You had another year of eligibility and you decided to step away, which is perfectly respectable. What are you up to these days?
Yeah, so I graduate in May, finance major, and then I started my own quarterback business, training business. So any kids from 8 to 10 years old, all the way up to college, I train some of the Boise State guys right now in the Valley. I just wanted to get back to the community of Boise. I love football, and I love coaching. I love training. It's something I really enjoy and I'm passionate about. So having an impact on kids coming up in Boise and being able to help them out is something I really cherish. So.
And what's the best way for a dad who's got a son that wants to play quarterback? What's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Yeah, you can just look me up on Instagram. I have a quarterback Instagram. It's called Colt Fulton QB Training, and you can also follow my normal Instagram. It's just Colt Fulton, whatever, and you can reach out to me, and I'll answer back pretty fast. So.
I can confirm Colt is great at answering back, and something I appreciate. You mentioned that you're training a couple current quarterbacks. I believe that'd be Caleb Annett and Max Cutforth, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Give Bronco fans a preview of those two quarterbacks. Max Cutforth could very well be the backup quarterback coming the next season. So could Caleb Annett. Who knows? But what is Boise State and what are fans going to see from these two?
Yeah, I think the first thing is they're great people. They work really hard every single day. They show up early. They're one of the last ones to leave, and they just want to be great. They do the extra work, and they're ballers. I mean, you guys will see it if they get a chance to play next season. For whatever reason that is, that they ball. They do a really good job. They work hard, and they can spin it for sure. So hopefully, I can give them a little bit more to help out. But they don't need much more help anyway. So.
And something that just popped in my head, and I want you to have the opportunity to talk about it, since you are going to be training some of these Treasure Valley quarterbacks. 3 of the 5 quarterbacks in that room, with the addition of Jack Benson and Zeke Martinez, along with Max Cutforth, are all going to be from the Treasure Valley. Talk about the talent level that is around here, and what you've seen.
Yeah, I think Boise's growing. Idaho in general is growing. So I grew up in Utah, and a lot of people thought Utah football was bad. And the more people that move there, the more people, put more money, more invest more time into the sports for kids. The better it's going to be. And I think Max, Zeke, they're perfect examples of what it's like when they work hard. People invest time and money into them. That's exactly what happened. I've been watching Zeke for a few years now, because I used to ref 7-on-7 for Sean Monster, and Zeke was always playing quarterback, and he was always winning every single tournament they went to. They'd win every single one. So I knew he was always a baller, and I'm super happy for him that he gets a chance to come to Boise and compete, and put his best foot forward. So.
And again, I want to thank you for coming on today and sharing your time. Just to wrap up, Boise State uses the term "built different" a lot. Give us a behind-the-scenes example, or what you think that "built different" really means, and how it makes you guys better.
Yeah, I think when I think of build different, I think the first word that comes to me is love. If you're around our facility, you'll notice the love is contagious, and it's real. There's no fake people. It is what it is. If someone's doing something bad, someone's going to call them out, and they're going to fix it. That's what it is. I think Coach D's done a wonderful job of really instilling that into us. And then I think another thing is just work ethic. I think the strength staff, the coaching staff does such a good job in putting us in the correct place and being strong, being ready for games. So I just think, and all it comes down to is us just working hard, and everyone works hard. They all want to be great. So when I think of build different, I think of love, and I think of work ethic.
All right, Cole. I appreciate your time today. I hope the fans got to know you a little bit better, got some inside information. But I just want to thank you for coming on, and as always, go Broncos.
Go Broncos. Thank you for having me.